Okay, and we're back. So this is going to be the thank you page of an order form upon successful order. So we got to make sure we let the people know, hey, your order was successful, because they're going to see this right away. And then we have whatever copy we want that's selling them on the upsell product. The only field we need on this form is a hidden email field, and we want to make sure that this is blank, because we're going to be passing that from the order form to this landing page. So the call to action is the acceptance of the upsell offer, and that's what's going to create the order. If they do not want to take the order or the upsell offer, we're going to want to make sure that we have a link here that's pointing to the decline page. So whatever that may be. Just some message that says, hey, your order was successful and you're only going to get whatever you ordered. Something like that. The main takeaway is you need a hidden email field, and submission of the landing page is them wanting the order product, the upsell product. On the thank you page, we're confirming successful order. And in this example, they're going to be getting a name and an email to something, but this can obviously be whatever you want. So at this point, we can go ahead and double check our settings. We want to make sure that this is auto-populating when Infusionsoft sends somebody here. So at this point, our upsell page is ready to go, and we can move this from draft to ready. In the connected sequence here, we're going to go down to the processes, and we're going to grab a legacy action set here. We'll double click it and grab the action set that we created earlier, which I believe was Cookbook Upsell. And it's always good to let Infusionsoft know why we're still using legacy, and we cannot create an order natively in Campaign Builder. Alright, at this point we can mark this sequence as ready, and now at this point we would publish the campaign to mark the landing page as ready to go. Once we've published the landing page, we're going to want to go back into it and go to the Code tab and grab the URL. So this exact URL. Then what we need to do is go to the order form that is going to be introducing the upsell offer. So this is an order form, sell in the cookbook. On the thank you page, we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the drop down from thank you page to web address. Here is where we're going to paste in the landing page URL and pass the contact information to the thank you page. And now as soon as we hit save, this is now configured. So when a customer successfully places an order using the order form, they are going to be taken to the landing page, which presents the one-click offering. The hidden field on the landing page is being pre-populated because we're passing it from the order form's thank you page. If they accept the offer, also known as submitting the landing page, Infusionsoft will create another order for the upsell product. So remember, we're creating an order for a product. You want to make sure to include any other fulfillment steps in here as well. So for example, for the tutorials, I probably want to add them to Customer Hub so they get a username and a password, tag them with the appropriate access, and then I can go ahead and send them their credentials, just for example. Now, I'll say it again, but it happened earlier in the video. It's important to know. If we do not select a payment plan while setting up this action set, Infusionsoft doesn't know which merchant account to auto-charge while creating the order. And if this happens, the order will be created and the payment will have to be collected manually at a later time. It's important to understand that orders created via an action set do not charge immediately, but rather they run in batches every 6 hours or so. If we need to control access or fulfillment based on a successful payment, we can create a billing automation trigger that applies a tag to advance the campaign. So this is what the model can look like. And then of course once we have the successful billing, then we can go ahead and grant access. In which case we would not have these steps in this sequence, but rather they would live in this sequence. In the next video, we're going to expand upon this model to build a one-click upsell or downsell chain. Okay, so we have a confirmation message, which is really important because remember, they just took the upsell. This is the first one-click upsell, and now this is the second one. Basically, a little bit of copy saying, hey, here's what you're going to get out of it. And then, just like last time, we have a hidden email field that's blank. And the call to action on the landing page is for them to accept the upsell. Now, if they don't want to take it, if they're just fine with the first upsell and that's it, we would then, of course, want to link this to the decline page. So whatever that looks like, so mywebsite.com/upsell, decline or something like that. You'll also want to make sure that the landing page has some, again, confirmation that they have the order placed, which says, thanks first name, in this case it's a review, so I will contact you personally to schedule your review. Okay. So at this point, the last thing to do is to make sure that in the settings we have the auto-populate form. This is critical because we're going to be passing information from the first upsell to this second upsell. So at this point, what we need to do is we need to copy this link. This is the link to the second upsell landing page. And now we can mark this as ready. What we're going to do is, with that URL we just copied, we're going to go back into the original upsell page and we're going to change the thank you page. So now, instead of the single upsell, we're going to send them to the second upsell form. And we got to pass the contact's information. So this landing page will pass the email to the hidden field of the second landing page. So the last piece of the upsell is to actually make sure that the order is created. So as I mentioned, you're going to want to already have an action set created for this second product. So this is here. And then this action set was the Infusionsoft Cookbook upsell. I'm sorry, the review upsell. There you go. And of course, the reason we're using this is we cannot create orders natively in Campaign Builder. I mentioned it before, but there's probably going to be more stuff in this sequence in real life. This is functional. This will create the order. You're probably going to want to have some tags and emails and things like that. But at this point, we can say this is ready. So now the upsell, the second upsell is configured. We have the landing page going, and if somebody submits this landing page, then they'll go here, asking for the second one. So now what we need to do is set up the other landing page, the downsell landing page. So just like last time, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'll return when the content is in here.